The defense ministers of Europe's Group of Five met in Krakow. The SAFE program was one of the topics discussed. I was just talking about the SAFE program during our meeting. I also raised this topic. For us, this is an extraordinary opportunity to accelerate the modernization of the armed forces. I will do everything to ensure this program comes to force in Poland. The German Minister of Defense, who was present at the meeting, emphasized how important it is for his country to launch the EU loan system. Germany supports the SAFE program. We are convinced of the idea, and we really appreciate that the UK and Canada want to join, because it is crucial for the NATO alliance that not only the EU benefits from it. The SAFE program is designed in such a way that, on the one hand, it supports the German arms industry, and on the other, it provides political leverage over borrower countries. The president should veto this bill. It is harmful to Poland and will make our country less sovereign. Decisions about Poland will be made not in Warsaw, but in Berlin. Poland's ruling government coalition, led by Prime Minister Donald Tusk, remains adamant that the loan should be taken out and urges President Nawrocki to sign the parliament's bill on the SAFE loan.
Zwracam się do pana prezydenta Nawrockiego.
I am addressing President Nawrocki. Mr. President, in the name of strengthening Polish security, in the name of responsibility for the state, in the name of responsibility for the uniformed services that protect the safety of Poles every day, please do not listen to your colleagues from the opposition. Please sign this bill. But the president's cabinet has its concerns about the SAFE program. For example, contrary to the Tusk coalition's claims, there are no guarantees that the money will actually go to Polish companies. We are concerned that the amendments requested by the president's office have not been introduced. For example, for the law on the implementation of the SAFE loan to clearly state that almost 90% of the funds allocated will actually go to the Polish arms industry. These issues raise serious doubts in our office. The Tusk coalition did not agree to the provision. What's even more unusual, the loan will be in euros as opposed to Polish zloty, taking on seemingly pointless exchange rate risks. If the information that 89% of SAFE funds will go to Polish companies is indeed true, then the question is why we are borrowing in euros. After all, Polish companies deal in Polish zloty. So exposing ourselves to exchange rate risks in this scenario makes no economic sense whatsoever. However, the biggest doubts concern the conditionality mechanism included in the SAFE program.
W punkcie 35 rozporządzenia na temat SAFE.
Point 35 of the SAFE regulation makes reference to a European Parliament regulation, which in turn states that the issue of European funds depends on how a given country implements its policy on justice, human rights, and so on. In essence, this provision lets the European Parliament withhold the funds based on its own interpretation of a country's human rights policy. In practice, this means the European Parliament can, at will, withhold borrowed funds to force concessions from borrower countries, while those borrower countries will still have to pay off the loan. This kind of leverage has already been used against Hungary. In the case of Hungary, the Hungarians did not receive this money. They have already been blocked. Why was this money blocked for Hungary? Because the EU wants to use these tools to overthrow Prime Minister Orban's government in Hungary. What is worse, shifting to European industry is flipping Poland's current militarization strategy on its head. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Poland has focused mainly on domestic as well as American and Korean equipment. The U.S. Departments of War and State have criticized the restriction of access to the European market for American arms manufacturers and threatened to review equipment supply contracts with European countries. The United States strongly opposes any changes to the directive that would limit U.S. industry's ability to support or otherwise participate in EU member state national defense procurements. Protectionist and exclusionary policies that strong-arm American companies out of the market, when Europe's largest defense firms continue to greatly benefit from market access in the United States, are the wrong course of action. This means that Poland taking out the loan could seriously strain Polish-American relations. Despite this, Donald Tusk continues to pressure President Nawrocki to sign the bill. Let no one in Poland even think of blocking the SAFE program, because it would mean striking at the very heart of our security programs. However, Nawrocki has no intention of signing any bills he considers harmful. President Nawrocki will make decisions on this matter personally, regardless of what Donald Tusk and others think about it. Currently, after the SAFE Act with some amendments was passed by the Senate, it has returned to the Parliament. After being put to a vote again by MPs, the document will go to the President's desk.